It is another day on Your Image, your public relations program on television. Today, we are handling the issue that is trending nowadays, talking about ensuring food security in Nigeria. And today we'll be talking about the future benefits of livestock development in Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu just inaugurated a committee on livestock production, and we demand that very soon a Ministry of Livestock Development will be created. And we are looking at this new dispensation and feeling that Nigeria should have an improved production if the policy is sustainable and positively impact on the society. With me today to discuss this issue, Professor Jimoh Alao Olanite. Professor Olanite is from the Department of Pasture and Range Management, Federal University of Agriculture. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
And I also have with me also a professor of note, professor of veterinary anatomy in the College of Veterinary Medicine, Federal University of Agriculture, talking about Professor Bayo Akinloye. Prof, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad having you here, and because when we talk about the issue of food security in the nation, it's something that will gladden the heart of everybody. I love to see enough food, enough goods, enough fish, and other related livestock family members being abundant in Nigeria. With the creation of the livestock development ministry, so to say, what does it connote? What are the advantages to Nigeria? Professor Olanite.
Well, thank you very much, moderator. Let me say that that ministry was actually announced, I think, yesterday or the day before yesterday. Creation of the Ministry of Livestock Development. Yeah, some months back, it's been at the committee level, headed by the former governor of Kano State, Ganduje. But yesterday, that committee had submitted its report to the presidency some time back, and one of the recommendations is that to forestall the problem of farmers-herders clashes and to ensure improvement in production of livestock, a separate Ministry of Livestock Development should be created. I think this has been on for some time. But day before yesterday or so, the president announced the creation of that ministry. Even though a minister has not been announced for the ministry, but at least we know that that ministry is now in existence. Yes, in the past, before the creation of this ministry, there is a Ministry of Agriculture, which is is a ministry that combines all the issues that have to do with agriculture. But because of agitations here and there, especially from Mayeti Allah and other groups that are involved in ruminant production, especially cattle production, I think the step to unbundle that ministry came about. The benefits could be very huge if and if only the policies and so on that have to do with that creation are implemented without undue political influence. You know, in Nigeria today, there are so many factors that are not important that cause a lot of issues. Don't forget that I said that agitation for the creation of that ministry has been coming from one side, in most cases, from one side of the country, from one major ethnic group. I just hope that with that creation, that ethnic group or whatever that agitated would not want to own it, and in such a way that people that will be running that ministry fully will not be people that are professionals in the area. if professionals in the various areas of animal agriculture are engaged, definitely it's going to bring a lot of benefits to the country. One, there has been a lot of agitation for stoppage of open grazing of livestock. I mean, in fact, some states have even passed the law. Like Benue State, even our Ogun State here has passed the law banning open grazing. But what we find is that it has never been effective. Yeah, it has never been effective. That law is in place, but you still see animals moving around unrestricted, unperturbed and so on, destroying what they were destroying. But with this ministry now, I believe that things that will be done in the area of animal husbandry would have a better policy formulations and better government inputs and so on and so forth. So we expect it to have a huge benefit.
Well, the country. All things be equal according to the economics. But let me also still ask you.
Yeah.
This Magman farmer north-south migration issue and the pastoralist concern. How does this solve the problem?
Well, creating a ministry just like this will not solve the problem. It is not that the presence of that ministry now will just say, okay, the problem is solved. I believe we have a ministry. The role of government is to formulate policies that would change things for better. Formulating policy comes from technocrats in the ministries and so on and so forth that would work on the bed, what are we going to do and all that, and recommend this to government before those policies are formulated. So I believe that with the creation of that ministry, there will be aggregation of specialists, of professionals and so on that would help in formulating such policies that will enhance animal restriction. People have been talking about going into ranching and stopping animals from open grazing all over that has been the problem. Once animals are allowed to move around freely, undisturbed, there's no way you do that they will not go into people's properties and destroy them. Okay? But with the ministry in place now over time, we believe that the policy of restricting animals of going into ranching and so on will be better handled, and all the issues that surround that will be better handled by the experts in the ministry and the people in government.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, that has taken me to Professor Akinloye on the issue of control of diseases and the like. We have found out that in the course of moving some stocks around, it's like there's element of danger in the transmission of diseases from one particular section of the nation to another. How does, or what are we now asking the veterinary doctors to do in this case? What is their involvement in helping to actualize the benefit for this project?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, and Professor Ladite. Thank you for the good opening. You have actually hit the nail on the head by bringing to fore all the importances that we could realize by virtue of creation of a new Ministry of Livestock Management. Actually, it's long overdue, and as it has come at the right time. There are quite a number of benefits that we could derive, that we should look up to see by virtue of creation of the new Ministry of Livestock Management. Going directly to the issue of disease management. Yes, we all know that one of the major challenges livestock industries are facing in the country is lack or little access to veterinary services in the country. Apart from the fact that we don't have adequate number of veterinary doctors that could cater for over 300,000 million livestock that we have in the country. So we also have neighboring countries like Niger, Chad, crossing our border, bringing their own livestock as well. So thereby causing trans-boundary animal diseases that apparently we could have curtailed in our own country, but because of our porous border, you find out that so many animals keep crossing the border and then reintroducing diseases into our country. So with the creation of new Ministry of Livestock, a full-fledged Ministry of Livestock Management, I believe that situation will be better handled. More funds is expected to be released. Budgets will be provided, budgetary allocation to ensure that all the major problems that we are facing in livestock industry are addressed, will be made available. So the issue of diseases in animal is one of the major challenges we are facing in the livestock industry. And with the creation of livestock management ministry, before now, federal livestock department exists under the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. So it's just a department, but now that it is a full-fledged ministry, I'm very sure more budgetary allocation will be made to ensure that all challenges, all difficulties livestock industry is facing are properly addressed.
What do you think will be the solution for mass production, increased production as a veterinary doctor?
Thank you very much. You see, that has been the major reason why we are here. And I'm also very sure that's part of the major reason why the Ministry of Livestock Management was created. That is to ensure sustainable livestock production. And in order to be able to achieve that, so many factors come into play. You first of all look at the breeds of animals that we have. Are they viable for sustainable livestock production? So there is a need for genetic improvements of all these livestock that we have. There is a need for cross-breeding, improvement of the genes of all our own livestock. Our own livestock as of today, we cannot say specifically that this breed should be bred solely for meat. And you cannot say that this specific breed should be bred solely for milk. So they just serve dual purpose and they are not upgraded at all. So there's a need for us to harness all the genetic importances that we have in all our breeds of animal. If you look at white Fulani serves dual purpose. We use it for meat, we use it for milk. Look at Sokoto Gudali. Sokoto Gudali should have been strictly upgraded for meat production, just like broiler. So we need to make sure that we conduct research and we establish a good line of breeds that will meet sustainable livestock production in our own country.
Yeah, we hope so. Professor Ladise, yeah. When we looked at the statistics, we discovered that livestock production contributed 1.16% to the gross domestic product of Nigeria. What's your projection with this, with the creation of this ministry? How can that show up the revenue base of Nigeria?
Well, definitely, the contribution of livestock to the GDP of the nation as of now is so meager. So, and definitely that has to do with the fact that, like Prof said, we don't pay attention to all the importance to ensure not only sustainability of production, but to ensure improved and increased production. The first thing, some few days ago, I and some colleagues were discussing when somebody went abroad and got some information and brought some statistics about how much milk they were realizing from animals in UK, in other countries outside the. And they said, look, if we improve our feeding system, we are able to. I said, look, the starting point is not feeding. Yeah, feed is very important.
So what's the starting point?
The starting point is genetic improvement.
Sure.
If we don't, in UK and those places, there are breeds for specific purposes.
Exactly.
Livestock breeds for dairy production. They won't be reared for meat production. There are those ones that are bred for meat production. So if we pay attention to all this, and mind you, the reason why we have been dodging from this over time is that, well, our government does not spend money on research. Sustainable, long-time research, developmental research. So if we spend enough money and because it takes time, breeding animals to get the right breed for that the kind of thing we are saying, it takes some time, and it takes consistent funding over time. So with the ministry now, like Prof said, I believe more funds will be aggregated into these important areas.
Sure.
Okay, even though the result may not be today, it may not just happen tomorrow. It's going to stay before you can begin to see the effect. It may take some time, but at least it is better to start at a point than not to start at all. If you look at the way ministries operate, they operate by departments. Like Prof said, presently there's Department of Livestock Services in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. Okay, whereas this department has now been blown out to become a full-fledged ministry. I believe that there should be enough funds that will be allocated. Mind you, if the political will is there to do what we should do. For instance, now we've been talking about animals, Fulani animals or animals traditional being reared under traditional system, grazing the natural pasture. That's what they graze. What sort of animal production do you expect from natural pasture? These pastures, these are plants that are never improved for quality, for yield of dry matter, and so on and so forth. So there should be research will be going on seriously on that side too, to improve feed resources, so that if you get a good breed and you feed it with good feed, and a good breed of animal, you feed it with good feed, then the result, the end result is good production. But if you have the best animals in the world, go and bring Holstein Friesian to Nigeria and come and feed it the kind of grass that we have here, you can't get any results.
So it needs special feeding.
We have to, the feed must be good enough in terms of quality, in terms of productivity, in terms of yield. Our grasses on the natural pasture, when we move from here now to Shiro, to wherever we are going, you see grasses left, right, and center. People will tell you, of course, why do we need to go and be reading, studying about grasses? We need to. And some years back, government imported, I think was it during, Jonathan or something, a government, they imported some grasses from Brazil and all that. That is not the way to go, sir.
So which means even the study of grasses and some other
animal feed resources, very important.
Very, very important.
Very, very important. Because Paul will bear witness, if you have the best breed and you don't have the right good resources, feed resources, what will you get out of it? It's like we are hoping that with this creation now, we are about to start. We have not started, sincerely speaking. I'm sorry to say, we have not started. But you see, you know, everything has been in the hands of the traditional people, the Fulanis, and we believe they are the only one that have the opportunity and the capacity to rear, and anybody can produce animals if the right environment is available, is there. Okay, so that's it.
Well, it's been very interesting, and we just have to stop at this point, okay, because time is not our friend. And but I believe that in the coming edition, we are going to elaborate more on the role of Federal University of Agriculture, okay, in enhancing this ministry's vision. Okay. We are going to also look at the issue of partnership. We will also look at other areas that can really benefit individuals, Nigeria, and also help the nation to be a major producer of livestock in the world. Until that, I'd like to appreciate Professor Jimoh Oladete, Professor from the Department of Pasture and Range Management, Federal University of Agriculture. It's been highly rewarding having you here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Professor Bayo Akinleye, we also thank you. Now we are getting to understand that there are particular things that we must do to ensure that we have increased production and disease control, just to enhance the vision of the ministry. Until next week, when we also come here to have another edition of this program, I want to say thank you so much. Viewers, it's been a pleasure having you stay with us. Stay with us till next week, where we are going to complete this topic. Until that time, I'm Akin Kudero, your uncle. Thank you so much.